For how long have you been researching machines that can demonstrate emotions?
I've been interested in that since 1998.
Okay. And what could you achieve with a machine that can daydream?
Well, I believe that it's possible if we start to model the way human beings reason about things to achieve much more flexible processing of storylines, plans, even understanding how human beings behave using an emotional content inside the processing system, not just the content of the emotions, but also the method in which those things are processed. So daydreaming is a different form of indexation of the episodes which represent events in our lives or stories that we've heard.
Are there any applications for businesses?
Certainly. The most important, I think, is the idea that a database containing very rich or complex cultural content, let's say a database of movies, could be very interestingly processed. For example, let's suppose you're interested in legal dramas, courtroom dramas, where something plays out. It would be possible to discover a story in which some injustice occurred, and it was a great tragedy that this had occurred, and this was a problem. Now suppose you were very interested in that idea and you wanted to locate another story which made you feel the same at the end. Not necessarily similar in other ways, but you just wanted to feel this sense of injustice and outrage, if you like, at the end of the story, for whatever reason. Well, you could use a system like this to actually locate that, even if those stories had nothing else in common. So no other way could you really use to link them up. But for entertainment purposes particularly, it could be very important because the emotions are everything in a story.
What about artificial intelligence? How might this affect the development of AI?
Yeah, I think that that's very important. It's long been thought, since the time of Aesop, that emotions and reason are in conflict with each other. This is an old Stoical tradition in philosophy. You think of Mr. Spock, someone who's distanced themselves completely from or scientists that are these very cold people that are objective and so on. I think that's led us into a false understanding of the role of emotion, even as a basic element of our normal thinking processes. I've reached the conclusion that an intelligent system must have emotions built into it before it can even function at all. That is, it's actually an essential component of any reasoning system. And the reason for that is that we use emotions for a whole range of things that have nothing to do with getting very angry about somebody or what have you. We use it to make judgments between things based on their value to us or their importance to us. We use it in memory, we use it in learning. There's a whole range of things. We use it to direct action, recruit energy to recover from injury or disaster in our lives. Those emotional patterns which we all experience, good or bad, have an important survival function for a creature or even a robot. And even though the emotions of machines could be different from a human being, they're still very important, I think, for it to function properly.
That's very interesting. So how far are we away from a machine that daydreams? And what are your challenges right now?
Well, I've already made some preliminary experiments with a machine that does that simple kind of daydreaming. What I'd very much like to do is improve the representation of emotions to make them even finer grained than they are now, but also to do further experimentation with that daydreaming mechanism, the process of linking between one emotional state and another. And to do that, I need to spend more time on that algorithm which I described. This is the daydreaming mechanism, if you like, that takes you through on this memory walk. And this is the free association that we all experience, particularly when we're relaxed or in a meditative state. I just wish human beings had a little more time to actually reflect and meditate on things than they do today.